All right. I think I see that it says that it's live. Let me make sure we have everybody else. That's one way to do it. Yep. I think it's live on YouTube. And I think I see it now starting to come in on LinkedIn. So we are getting there for sure. We are there. Yes, it works. It works. Oh, so you're in the mall.
Yes. I got kicked out of my other location and
Oh
I'm on my way to
no.
the airport. So
Oh
I
yes.
had to improvise.
Always
So,
something that we are accustomed to doing in
yeah.
this field. We improvise a lot. Definitely improvise a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But I'm
So
glad that you still were able to make it.
yeah. So what an interesting week. Are we good to start now, you
We are
think?
good. We are good to start. I
Yeah.
see Ahmed has already joined us. Thank you for
Oh,
joining
yeah.
us.
Super.
So we are good to go.
Well, up till now, it's all been
Hmm.
talking about the Middle East. Now
I
I'm
know.
actually in the Middle East for the
Hey,
first time.
how has that been?
Yes. And it was quite a week. I
Hmm.
had the chance to participate in the Reliability Middle East Conference in Dubai this week. Just finished up earlier today. Today there were
Nice.
two workshops.
Hmm.
I spent some time with our friend Alan Reinstra,
Yes.
and
Yes.
he had a nice room, 20 plus, participating in some
Nice.
talking about ultrasound.
Hmm.
Um, I made a lot of notes and got some really good things to think about there. He had, I think it was the eight top applications.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
yeah, eight top applications for ultrasound. And some of them come right to the top when we think about it. We think about greasing with the ultrasound, right? So it's a condition-based greasing.
Hmm.
But there's other ones that maybe, at least in this form, we don't think about as much, and that's the electrical
Yep.
applications. You talked about leakage,
Yep.
um, talked about integrity. So he
Mm.
was talking about some shipboard applications where they have hatch integrity issues, right?
Hmm.
So if it doesn't seal properly, so they can use a source of ultrasound and then listen on the other side of the hatch to make sure that everything is ship tight. And
Wow.
Yeah, so there was that. There was some other examples given. It was quite interesting. Very
Nice.
lively discussion from
Good.
the participants.
Good.
And so, yeah, there was definitely interest about using some of the applications. And it may just be because of the focus on petrochemical in this
Hmm.
region, but there was a lot of questions about valves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's interesting.
So
Because
both
valves
steam,
are everywhere.
yeah, right? But steam valves was one. Steam valves, relief valves, and steam traps was one area. But then
Right.
just leak tightness of valves, and you can think about in the petrochemical area, you don't want any effluent, right? You don't want any
Yes.
uncontrolled releases, and
Hmm.
so that becomes an issue as well.
Yeah.
But earlier in the week, it was a great lineup. There were,
Yeah.
um, some of the key companies that were participating this week included Saudi Aramco.
Right.
We had some of their affiliated companies participating as well, like Sabic.
Right.
Yeah, they were there. I was hoping that our friend Hamza would be here, but he was unable to attend. This,
Hamza. Next
yep,
time. Next
this was
time.
I was, I was, I was hoping for my chance to meet him in person here.
Oh my
That's going
gosh.
to have to happen another day. But
Hmm.
I did get a chance to meet a lot of the folks. I just met up with someone today who has only to this point known me through this podcast.
Oh
Uh,
wow. Well
yeah,
done. Well
yep.
done.
And so we met in person in their office. It was right
Hmm.
next to the Burj Khalifa,
Oh,
the largest building in the world, and that was
wow.
was pretty
Pretty
wild being
cool.
being there having a meeting talking about grease analysis at the base of the Burj Khalifa. So
That's so cool.
yeah, some wild stuff there. But a lot of good content this week,
Mm-hmm.
and it was a combination of some technical presentations along with some really good panel discussions,
Right.
and they really brought out some top leadership from
Mm.
this region, which I thought was fantastic to see top leadership engaged at this level,
Yes.
talking about reliability, at the forefront. So that's really exciting, and I think there's a lot that can be done. There's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
opportunities for reliability technologies, not just grease, but there was a lot of discussion about
Yep.
vibration analysis this week. A lot of talk about AI, which seems
Mm,
to
good.
make its way into almost
Everything.
any technical discussion you have. And so a lot of that is looking at process systems and
Mm.
sensors and things like that. Um, we did have a booth. We shared our booth this
Right.
week.
Really cool.
Yes, with our friends from Ecol, and that was really good because they were there not so much talking about, although we did have some discussions about grease analysis and the grease sleep analyzer that they have in their
Mm-hmm.
lab in Poland, but they were really spending a lot of time talking about foam cleaning of turbine systems,
Oh.
right? So they have this new methodology where they're able to generate a foam, so kind of a air infused
Mm-hmm.
cleaning solution. It's a chemical cleaning solution,
Mm.
but the foam gives it greater capabilities to remove varnish and other kind of
Wow.
deposits off of surfaces. Now, they were talking primarily on like the steam path.
Right.
So you've got all sorts of deposits there. A lot of them are mineral deposits in
Yeah.
nature. And as those deposits build up, we do see limited, some loss in efficiency of
Mm-hmm.
these turbines.
Yep.
So to hear about the successes that they have had,
Yeah.
and I was right there listening to folks stopping and asking, how does that work? And
Yes.
could it work in my situation and so forth? So a lot of good connections there, and that's what you like to see, right? You like to see
Yes.
a
Always.
technology that maybe
Mm-hmm.
doesn't have widespread acceptance or under use at this point, but you see the connections being made,
Yes.
where folks kind of connect the dots, and a lot of that came after they did their presentation, which was
Right.
on the second day. You know,
Okay. That's good because I mean you always want to bring the new technology, bring it to places that may not have seen it before, and get that exposure for it because that's what's about, spreading the knowledge and spreading the innovation and spreading the technology and making sure that you can use it because that's what we're trying to find solutions at the end of the day always.
yeah, especially if you've hit a wall and you're trying
Yeah.
to solve an issue,
Mm-hmm.
and it's really a challenge. Yeah, and so what I was able to do, and I got to really give a shout out to the folks at MRG Labs who
Yes.
set me up for success this week. Um, I brought the whole mini lab here, whole
Yeah.
Grease Peak Mini Lab, and that Sonia, we talked about this
Mm-hmm.
a couple of times earlier in this series, and I said, well, there is no laboratory with full grease analysis capabilities in the Middle East right now. There was today. Um, I,
Yes,
had, I
yes.
had it set up and I was doing some demos, and same with our booth. And I
Mm-hmm.
think we definitely got some interest there. There's a number of folks that I want to follow up with that
Good.
saw it. Uh, I was even getting them involved in the colorimeter where they would hold down the handle that
Oh, yes,
spaces, right,
yes.
and squeezes the grease out, and then I
Mm-hmm.
would use the iPhone to make the
Right.
connection to the spectrometer
Mm-hmm.
and turn it on and off, and then we do the
Yes,
comparison and the delta E values and whatnot. So uh, people got a chance to see firsthand what's involved and how
right.
much effort there is. It's not a lot. It's
Mm-hmm.
the kind of thing where you could set that up and have some people working on it in very short order.
Yes.
And now we have it to four different tests that are taking place. So even when the conference ended today, I was able to meet with the folks here at Burj Khalifa and I set it up on in their conference room, and I had all these filled grease thieves with different like light colored greases, dark colored greases.
Nice.
I had some were in grease thieves, others
Mm-hmm.
were in pickpocket tubes. So
Ah,
I had
okay.
both of them, and I was able to show them how to transfer from one to the other. That you
Mm-hmm.
could fill a tube, or you could fill a grease thief from a tube. So, depending on how you take the sample, you may want to transfer it later. And it's really simple now with the
Yes.
way we have this set up. So I did some of that back and forth, which was good. And then, the four tests, and I don't think we mostly talked about the two before in, I think, our
Mm-hmm.
meetings, which would be the ferrous with Poseidon's FerroQ,
Right.
and then
Mm-hmm.
also the colorimeter, the grease thief colorimeter.
Mm-hmm.
But then, and this is a new thing that the guys got ready for me this week. We're taking kind of a similar setup to that arbor
Mm-hmm.
press that we use for the colorimeter
Yes.
to thin that out. And when we now have it so that it will go ahead and push the piston down on a grease thief and actually
Mm.
get the feedback into the handle of the consistency. So this is this is really a
Oh,
first this week. And
nice.
yeah, I think, I probably all of our innovations, I think were, done in Pennsylvania, and probably first demonstrated in Pennsylvania, maybe
Mm-hmm.
at a conference nearby. But this is the first time I was demonstrating it outside of our laboratory. Was
Oh, that's good.
here in the Middle East, so here in Dubai. So I thought that was
Oh,
pretty
that
groundbreaking.
is, that
Um,
is
yeah,
definitely.
yep.
And you're
And
leading
then
the way.
the fourth piece there, which I didn't have along, but is capable when we're doing that die extrusion, because not only are we able to, you know,
Oops, I think we lost some sound from Rich there. Yeah, we lost a little bit of sound from you there. So I heard up to
okay,
the fourth. I
all
heard up
right,
to the fourth. You just need to give us a little more information after the fourth.
okay, yeah, the would be the particle counting.
Oh,
That would be
yes.
the fourth piece. Yeah, the fourth piece
Okay.
would be the particle counting, and I didn't have the high resolution camera along to do that,
Ah,
but we were preparing substrates manually using the Grease Thief Mini Lab, which is
yes.
pretty cool. And
Very cool.
so there you get four tests that you can do very simply.
Okay.
No solvents required, no
Mm-hmm.
fume hoods, just as a screening test. You can basically set it up on a desktop, the top of your desk, clear a little
Mm-hmm.
space, and you've got a laboratory running for grease analysis, which is
Yes,
really exciting for us.
it is. It is exciting because you're bringing the great state to the world and really showing what else we could use it for and how we can use it, how versatile it is. Because we need to be testing our greases. We can't just stop at the oils.
Yeah.
The greases are
I,
important too.
Now, I wanted to say something a little humorous here because I saw some of the names scrolling on who's visiting with us today. When I met today at the Burj Khalifa, the gentleman there, he said, "Yes," he said, "we've never met in person." He says, "But he says you're quite famous on
Oh,
LinkedIn." He said,
nice.
"You and Sonia," he says, "doing a great job." He says, "There's two famous people in Greece." He says, "You and David Turner."
Oh, yes, it has to be David Turner. Who
That's
else?
right. That's, and all of his front row first class adventures.
Oh,
Uh,
yes,
yeah, as he's
definitely.
traveling all over. So I saw David join us today. So I thought that was kind of funny. Kind of on the other side of the world here, and
Yes,
he came
David.
up as the other one. So
David is
yeah, we
world
just
famous, world
yeah.
famous.
And he certainly is. I mean, David's done, a fabulous job over the years with NLGI and ASTM, and really,
Yes.
increasing the knowledge that's out there and the understanding of the world of greases and grease testing. So
Hmm.
yeah, that was great to hear that today.
Oh,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
yeah. So a lot of good presentations, a lot of talk about optimization,
Mm. Mm-hmm.
increasing reliability, a lot of high level stuff,
Nice.
and high level. managers within these companies,
Mm-hmm.
like Saudi Aramco
Mm-hmm.
and Sabic, and we even had uh, Petroleum of Oman
Oh,
was here, yes, and
nice.
trying to think of some of the other ones, but a pretty good diversity of companies participating in this event, which was great because for me a
Great.
lot of that was first time meeting these folks.
Yes.
So yeah,
There's no replacement for in person. We know that.
yeah.
And being able
So
to.
the presentation that I did this week,
Mm-hmm.
it went well.
Nice.
I had a chance to, kind of introduce some of the success that we've had,
Mm-hmm.
some of the cost benefits, and
Great.
you're up on stage and you're going through your materials. But when I came back down, I did talk to some folks that said, hey, there was a lot of people snapping pictures of the screen when you put the dollar amounts up, because
Mm-hmm.
I had four examples that I
Right.
shared this week, and I had the aerospace application with the
Mm-hmm.
helicopters and the grease analysis. I had we talked about the robotics,
Yes.
right? Grease testing for the robotics. We also mentioned a mining example, and so
Right.
you know, thinking about this area, mining,
It's very big.
petroleum, drilling, mining. And so I brought that example up of Big Bertha. Do you remember that story with Big
I
Bertha?
think so. Yes, I
Yeah,
do.
the tunnel
Hmm.
drilling
Yeah.
machine, and and even before I had a chance to bring it up today or this week, I met someone who just happened to be coming through the area because they live here, but they don't even work in our industry. And but she had seen the grease leaf analyzer in Poland,
Nice.
and
Oh,
she said that I asked. She said that her daughter was very excited to see that, and wanted to hear what she was going to see at this show. And I said, "Well, what is she studying?" She goes, "Oh, she's studying engineering. She's very
ah.
interested. Yeah, she's very interested in tunnel boring machines." I said, "You got to be kidding me!" And I I told her the story about the grease thief and
Yes.
Big Bertha, and
Mm-hmm.
how my own daughter, when she first heard the news of that on the TV, said that she thought we should try to help that
Yeah.
broken tunnel boring machine to be fixed with the grease thief. And sure
Of
enough,
course.
a few months later, we did. So yeah, so I shared that one during this visit because I think some of the challenges there in terms of when you're grinding into materials, you're drilling,
Yeah.
you have grease that's lubricating either the cutter head support
Mm-hmm.
bearings or the gearboxes that are present. We learned so much by doing that, and it's a
Yes.
fantastic application for it. Now the cost savings are pretty impressive for Big Bertha because
Yeah.
every day that she wasn't moving through the ground,
Yes.
they were losing a lot of money. But it was projected that was the cost savings there were over $100 million for that
Right.
project. So and even questions at time whether they were just going to give up and just
Mm.
pull it out and just backfill, but they got the tunnel through, and
Yeah.
myself, my wife, and Richard Janoski all got a chance to
Yeah.
drive through that tunnel
Ooh.
when we were out there in Seattle. But that was one that came up, in the conference and came up in discussion today again. Um, and like I said, it came down to dollars. It came
Yep.
down to dollars, and
Mm-hmm.
can we make that case that? And it's two things. There's a return on investment, right? Because if an investment is being made in
Right.
the equipment and the personnel and the time that it takes to do grease analysis and grease sampling, then you want a return on that,
Yep.
and so you can demonstrate that. But the other is RONA, right?
Mm-hmm.
Return on
Always.
net assets. So,
Always.
yep.
That's the important part. That's the part that gets the top priority.
Yeah, because if an investment's being made, whether that's a pump or a turbine or a valve or a fan bearing, whatever it
Mm-hmm.
happens to be, that investment wants to make wants to make a
Yeah,
return all the time. Doesn't want the
always.
downtime. Doesn't want
Mm-hmm.
excessive maintenance costs that need to be expended to make that work. So yeah, it's and I think that like in some areas, it's pretty early here in terms of
Mm-hmm.
race sampling and analysis. And I think
Right.
part of what we were doing this week was just getting the message out that there
Yes.
are tools, and
Yes.
there's successes
Mm-hmm.
already out there that we can point to, um,
Definitely.
and see where it goes from here.
Sure, and I'm so glad that you were able to bring that to Dubai and bring that technology and be the first to set up the mini lab in that area and actually use it for that purpose. So that's really great. I know we have a couple of people joining us both on YouTube and on LinkedIn. Mohammed, Babatin, excited, of course. Of course, David Tuna is here. Ahmed is here. We have Dennis, Matthew, Tanraj, who I think he jumped to YouTube. Joshua is here as well. Of course, Linda is supporting because, she is very excited and she was excited about this trip as well. So, huge thank you to everybody who's joining us from different parts of the world and getting a first-hand view of the mall, favorite place.
Yeah. Well, I only have a few more hours here. I'm going to head to the
Okay.
airport shortly,
Yes.
and I've got a late night trip back to the U.S.
Right. Yeah.
But it's been a good week, and this is
Good.
part of what we need to do, right? We've
Mm-hmm.
got this technology, we've got the cases, we've got the stories, but we have to share them. We have to
Yeah.
get them
We have
out
to get
there.
them out there. Mm-hmm.
Yep. Sonia,
Yeah.
when did we start this? Do you remember how far back we started doing this with
It's been
Samsa?
about a year. It's been
About a
about a
year.
year. About
Yeah.
a year.
So
And finally got you
just
to
a
the Middle
just a
East.
nice way to close out that year, to go
Yep.
from talking about the Middle East
Mm-hmm.
to being in the Middle East.
Perfect. That's the best part. And I know you're also heading up to a couple other shows that are coming up as well. So, look out for that. I think the next one is Detroit. I'll see you in Detroit next
Yes,
month.
yes. Can you
Yes.
tell us? You tell folks here about what you got planned for that?
Detroit is gonna be it's gonna be cold, but it's gonna be good. We actually have a couple of workshops running on the first day with the team, and we have a lot of great presenters. Rich is actually gonna be doing a workshop on food processing with the ICML badge to get you prepared for that. And you can write the exam in the afternoon. I know we have Greg Livingstone doing a workshop. We have Ray Britton doing a workshop. Mike Holloway is doing a workshop. I am doing a workshop as well. So the entire morning is going to be all about optimizing, rotating equipment and machinery. So, you have a lot of different people who you're going to get really good information from. And then Rich is going to take it away in the afternoon, get you ready for that ICML food processing badge. And then you could write the exam later on in the day, which is, I think, a pretty packed and very interesting full day for your first day, just for your
Yeah.
first day of the expo. Like we started off straight from the park with that one. And then you have 2 days to calm down and just visit some of the different panel sessions and hear the discussions that are going on. So it's going to be a very packed Lube Expo next month, but entrance is free. It's in Detroit. If you can make it, we would really appreciate you, just stopping by, even for one of the days, and just, meeting up with us in person. It would be, very interesting to meet you all. And, because we've been having these conversations, not in Dubai, where you could still meet Rich if you're in the mall, just saying, where he is. But you can definitely meet up with us at some other point throughout the year. If you're not in Dubai, if you're in Detroit next month, just let us know and we'll have a conversation, which is what it's
Yeah.
about. We're trying to make these connections and spread
Well,
the word.
I know for Detroit,
Mm-hmm.
there was some questions about the sessions that you and some of the others are teaching those workshops, and there was a
Yes.
question. Well, could I sit for the varnish exams?
Oh,
At that.
yes.
Yeah.
So the
Do you want to
varnish,
talk about
you,
that and how Paul Hiller answered that?
you can sit for the varnish exam, but not all of the content will be covered for that course. So if you're a varnish expert or you're a very quick reader and you want to read the varnish book just before you write the exam and you think you can retain all of the information, that would be great too. But if you want to sit for the varnish exam, you can, you will have the opportunity because I know some people may not like to take online exams and they prefer to do them in person. So they will have that opportunity to do that. But we definitely advise that you study beforehand because there are some very interesting and sticky questions in that one. So make sure you study for that.
Yeah. So I don't think there would be a chance to sit for any other exams because they last a lot
Mm,
longer.
yeah, they
But
do.
you know, if someone feels pretty confident about the varnish, or maybe they bought your book,
Yeah.
you know, and they've been diligently reading
Amazing.
that, and they're up to speed, and they could be sitting for that as well. But I'm excited to do the food
Yeah.
processing lubrication one. I'm not sure, you know, how many people will be at that event with that area of interest.
Hmm.
You know, I believe that it covers really all aspects of food
Yeah.
production, packaging, right?
Right.
Because a lot of the packaging work, which sometimes falls into pulp and paper, but it
Hmm.
really, there's a lot of food kind of grade concerns about that.
Right.
So that could be applicable. And then also the pharmaceuticals too.
Yes.
Yeah, and we're not terribly far from the folks out in Indiana.
Hmm.
You know, that some of the pharmaceutical areas we have out there. So who knows who will get out for that free conference,
Yeah.
free workshops.
Yep.
The only thing you'd have to pay for is if you sit for the exam, but
Yep. But
of
that's
course, getting there.
definitely value.
Yeah. So, and then do you have some other events coming up, Sonia?
We do. I think we have another one with Oil Dock in
Yep.
May in Germany.
Yep.
I know that you have a couple others that are on the on the agenda as well.
Yeah, yeah. I'm
So
also going to be. I don't know if David Turner's going to this one, but the ELGI meeting is going to be in Copenhagen, and that's
nice.
coming up. Yep, yeah, that's coming up in the spring. So there'll be that one. There's a Reliability Ireland that's going to be taking
Ah,
place. Yes, and that
that's
is in the
cool.
fall. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
October.
Mm.
Um, and so I think everyone guesses that I'm German with my German last name, and it is true that I am a pretty good percentage German, but the rest of me is Irish. So
Okay. Well,
yeah, my mom was a McDevitt, so so I always try to get out there for Reliability Ireland, and it's another, it's a small venue, right? It's a smaller country there, but they attract a decent
mm-hmm.
number of people from continental Europe, from the UK, getting
Yes.
involved, and I learned a lot from that one, and they do a fabulous job with the venue is just
Good.
fantastic. So another one, I think like Mike Johnson and his wife
Oh,
came to the last one there, and she's Irish, and that was kind of like a
nice.
bucket list item for them. Um, but it's great when we can find these events where we can get some, you know, kind of personal benefit or
Mm-hmm.
some time away, but also get that good technical content that we
Mm-hmm.
need to keep ourselves sharp and
Oh yeah,
continually learning, continually advancing, and doing what we can to solve the next issues for reliability.
that's what it's about. That's definitely what it's about.
Yeah. So let's talk about the next time we do this. I will be in a probably a far less exotic location, uh, probably something like Pennsylvania. Um, but we should probably start talking about topics. And I
Definitely.
just want to reiterate, it doesn't have to be Sonia and I coming up with these every
Mm-hmm.
time. The people that participate, think about the questions you have.
Right. And send
In
them to
any,
us.
yeah, anything around grease lubrication, you know, proper greasing, and then of course sampling and analysis. Let us know what are the topics, the areas of
Mm-hmm.
interest, what you would like to see, what you'd like to see demonstrated,
Yep.
and we'll make it happen. We
Definitely.
we've been on a bit of a roll, going all the way back to October, where each month we've been picking a bit of a theme,
Yes.
and tying that in. We I probably could have done something Valentine's Day related on this one, but hey, we're in the Middle East. Let's stick with
Yeah.
the Middle
Yeah.
East. But I guess the holiday for March is the one I just mentioned. It's Ireland, right? It's St. Patrick's Day.
Ah, yes, it is. Are you gonna get your
So,
green stuff out? Green
uh,
hat.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm part leprechaun, so I'll have to get
Mm-hmm.
my hat. My daughter, one of my daughters, is incredibly good at finding four-leaf clovers. It just drives me.
All right.
My entire life, I've never found one, and we'll be standing side by side, and she'll find six or eight of them. It's
Ah,
just, it's
because she
uncanny.
is
Yes.
lucky.
Yeah. So between now and the next one, I'll have to have her. Although it's a terrible time of year to be looking for them, she probably has them pressed in the pages of a book somewhere. But see if she can't
Probably.
get me a lucky
Yep. A lucky
four-leaf
for
clover,
Clover.
and we
Mm-hmm.
can do something there as well. I don't think we have a date picked out yet in
Not
March.
yet. Not
Yeah, but
yet. But we'll figure
let's
it
give
out.
ourselves a few weeks to get there.
Yeah.
Maybe the week before St. Patrick's Day or
Yeah.
something like that. We'll pick a date. We'll get it done.
Definitely.
And I guess before I close off and head to the airport, did any questions come up or any
I
other
did not
comments?
see any questions. I saw a lot of comments, people excited that you're in the mall, of course, and to see the Dubai Mall. A couple
Yeah.
people are like, they're just, excited that you're there. I know that Linda wants to see us next month in Detroit, so she's definitely looking forward to that.
Oh
But
yeah.
I don't think we had any questions come in to say, everybody's just excited that you made it to Middle East and you made it there. We've been talking about this for a long time. So it's so glad to see it come full circle at this point in time. So
Yeah, I started
good.
earlier today. I had some dinner next to the big fish tank that they have here.
Ah,
It's absolutely massive. I think I spotted five big sharks in it. Um,
ah,
and of course, you have this ice rink here,
yes,
which in
which
the
is
middle
so
of the desert
cool.
is kind of wild. And right down the road is a ski mountain. Do you know that they have a ski mountain here?
What?
It's all indoor. They
That
have
is
this
cool.
indoor, yeah, they
That is
refrigerate
very
it, and
cool.
they have a ski slope. So some crazy stuff, as well as being next to the world's largest building in Burj Khalifa.
Yes.
So it's been good. So with that, I'll sign off for this version of
Mhm.
Free Steve Goes to the Middle East, and we'll
Definitely.
see you all next time. We'll see you in
Yes.
March
Yes.
for
I will
St.
see you
Patty's
soon.
Day.
For sure.
Strike the oil and get lucky.
All right. Have some safe
All right.
travels. I'll see you soon.
Okay.
Bye.
Thank you. All right. Bye bye.